Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is James and welcome back to the Soundline. So today we'll be talking to you guys about Accuphase's E-650 Class A integrated amplifier. A Class A amplifier is really the way to go, and if you're comparing it to something like tubes or valve amplifiers, this is the closest you're going to get to it in a solid state amplifier that doesn't have those tubes. Just briefly in terms of how these sort of amplifiers sound, what they bring to the table over sort of the next tier down, which is Class AB, they bring a lot more openness, scale to your sound stage. They do layering a bit better, and also I find that the mid-tones are a lot richer, and also the bass notes, like you tend to get a little bit more heavy bass out of it, a bit more bottom end, because ultimately with Class A, what it means is that you're getting more current delivered to your speakers, and more current always equals more control of the speaker, and therefore better accuracy. So, very first off, as with all Accuphases on the left-hand side here, we have our input selector, which is a really nice mechanical feeling, tactile input selector that rotates. You got your nice big power button, which we have talked about in the past. Something Accuphase do focus on is making sure that they have a very good quality power button in there, since ultimately all the electricity that will eventually become sound does flow through that power button, so they make sure they put a very good quality one in. Along the top here, you've got your nice wee window with digital VU meters. In the middle, you've got the illuminated Accuphase logo, and then below that, you have the little digital display, which either displays the volume that your amplifier is at with a decibel reading, or if you're using an internal DAC, then it can display the sample rate that you've got there, whether it be kilohertz or megahertz. So if I just hit this wee open button, that comes down, very nice satisfying flip down there. From left to right, we've got speaker A, B, and A plus B selector, so that you can run one or two sets of speakers at the same time if you like. A bass and treble adjustment, and those two knobs are also isolated and turned on and off by a tone button, so you can have these set but not have it turned on. You just hit the tone button to turn it on. The Dac button here is what you would use to select between USB, optical, and coax input if you're using the Dac card in it. There's an MC/MM button, so that if you've got the phono card put in, you can switch between a moving coil and a moving magnet cartridge. A mono button, so that will, sum the two stereo signals into one and split it evenly to give you a mono signal. That can be quite handy if you're listening to like a mono record or something like that and you happen to not have a mono cartridge. Compensate button, that's kind of Accuphase's version of a loud filter. And the display button, you can actually turn it all the way off, because some people when they listen to music, they like to do it in the dark, and so they don't want that all lit up. Knobs on the right hand side, we've got our balance left to right, our main in selector, so that's what you would use if you're using this in conjunction with a home theater processor or a audio source that has its own independent volume control. Going further to the right, we've got our attenuator button. So Accuphase don't have a mute button, but they have this little attenuate button, which just drops the signal down a lot lower, so it's easy to quickly turn the volume all the way down if you like. A 1/4" TRS headphone output socket, and our really nice volume control. And Accuphase always put a lot of effort into doing a great volume control, since just like the power button, all the audio signal actually does flow through that, and it's very important to get that right. And now looking at the back of it, again going from the left to the right. Starting off over here, we've got our two option card slots. This is where you would put the Accuphase phono card or DAC card into it if you choose to use them. Along the top here, we've got a arrangement of line level inputs. So you've got tuner, CD, and lines 1, 2, and 3. So you get 5 line level inputs. At the bottom here, we've got our XLR line level inputs. So you've got a dedicated CD balanced input, as well as a balanced input. And then this one here, this is a pre-out. So you've got a balanced pre-out. And then also here, we've got our main in balanced input. So that's that if you're using home theater processor or something like that. Above that, we've got our RCA, pre-out, and main in. So they've kind of grouped them by connector. And then over on the right hand side here, this is our speaker output section, where you've got speaker A and speaker B. Both of these terminal sets are really high quality. They can take a banana plug directly into the back of it, or a fork or spade terminal into there. And then below that, our 3-pin 10 amp IEC connector. Just like all Accuphase amplifiers, the E-650 has a very lovely, neutral, down the middle kind of sound. You know, you've got that spectrum of it sounds analytical and detailed and hard, all the way to it sounds, you know, soft and melodic and pleasant. Accuphase is almost always right down the middle. Maybe slightly on the softer side, but they don't ever sacrifice detail. So for that reason, when people ask me what sort of speakers to pair with these amplifiers, I usually say it honestly doesn't matter. I've heard Accuphase sound good on all ranges of speakers, whether it be something a little bit rolled off like Shahinian, or something that's incredibly bright like Focal or Bowers & Wilkins. Accuphase makes them all sound fantastic. And in terms of comparing the Class A range that they have over the Class AB, it's kind of the same story, except the Class A ones just sound better because Class A technology allows you to have better layering, more current going to your speakers equals more control of the speaker and gives you more fine detail and a larger soundstage. And now just in terms of the build quality, the one thing I will say about Accuphase is they are made amazingly well. They're made in Japan, everything is hand assembled. If you can get yourself an Accuphase, you've got yourself into a very limited availability product. And the build quality of it really reflects that. It shows that they take time when they assemble these things. You can feel it when you play with these knobs and feel this thing go down. You can just feel that everything is very low tolerance for error. So it's just all built very well. In terms of their longevity, the manufacturer provides a 5-year warranty with it, but we here at Soundline are so confident in them that we actually extend that to 8 years for free, because we have honestly seen Accuphase products last multiple decades and sometimes even be passed on to children. And that has been our video for the Accuphase E-650 integrated amplifier, guys. I hope you enjoyed it or found it informative. If you want to have a listen to one of these, by all means give us a call or flick us an email. Come in and see us and we will try and arrange a demo. If it's any consolation and you're wondering whether or not to trust everything I say, I actually just bought one of these for myself to go with my Sonus Faber Sonito 5s, and I'm already in love with it day one out of the box, but I know it's only going to get better as it gets more run-in. So that's been our video, guys. As I say, hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, pop them down in the comments section below, and I'll catch you in the next video. Ka kite anō.